Hey guys, what's up? I'm Shogun Sloth and welcome to episode 2 of my Overwatch guide. If you missed the last video on hero roles, you can check it out by clicking the link in the description for the full playlist. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video again. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. Compositions in Overwatch have gone through various changes as the meta has changed through the seasons. We've had the Mercy meta, the Beyblade meta, triple DPS, and as of recently, GOATs. However, I'm going to be talking you through how to make the most of your hero selection and compositions. The standard composition for any Overwatch game is a 2-2-2 composition, which consists of 2 DPS, 1 main tank, 1 off tank, 1 main support, and 1 off support. Common compositions are Dive, Bunker, and Death Ball, or, as I previously mentioned, GOATs, which is a 3-3 comp of 3 tanks and 3 supports. So generally you'll be playing a 2-2-2 comp in your ranked games, but sometimes you can break the norm because certain heroes have been buffed or nerfed a little too much. At the moment, 3-3 comps or GOATs is still pretty strong despite the recent nerfs to armor. The standard for this comp is Zarya, Reinhardt, D.Va, Lucio, Zen, and Brig. While there are other variations of this composition, this is the normal. GOAT is a super aggressive comp where you try to discord the enemy Rein and then use Lucio's speed boost to go in on him using all your cooldowns to eliminate the big man, to send him and his shield back to the spawn room while receiving the area of healing from Lucio and Brig. Typically you want to focus one target at a time using Zen's Orb Discord for additional damage. When picking tanks, you want to pick the tanks best suited for the map you are playing on. For example, if you're playing a map which is close quarters, then you want to play tanks that are good for brawling, such as Reinhardt and Zarya. An example of a map which you would run this tank duo on is King's Row, as the narrow pathways, corners and chokes are ideal for holding ground. Whereas open maps or maps with lots of high ground such as Numbani, you should play dive tanks like Winston and D.Va, as their high mobility will allow you to contest the high ground without taking too much poke damage. Bunker tanks on the other hand, such as Orisa and Roadhog, are generally used as defensive heroes to hold down an objective, but do have their place in attacking rounds such as moving the payload. They are more map dependent than the other pairings. That's not saying you can't play all tanks on all maps, but certain tanks will give you a clear advantage. It's also important to note that compositions can change from point to point. So, Eichenwald first and last, you may want to play brawl tanks, but for the streets phase, you may want to swap to dive tanks to contest the high ground. Your damage heroes are picked based on the tanks you have and the map you are on. For example, brawlers like Doomfist and area of denial heroes like Junkrat are good on close quarters map, whereas the long range heroes or heroes with high mobility will excel with more open maps with high ground, whereas they can get sightlines and flanks on the enemy supports. These are not rules that are set in stone, however, as Hanzo, who is a sniper, also has a lot of shield break potential, so will work well in close quarters maps against a Rein shield. DPS can also be picked based solely on the map, as if they are exceptionally good on that map. For example, Ilios Ruins really favours Widowmaker, but if the tanks do really well on the map and combo really well with the DPS, then the DPS will also do well on that map. So you can pick the DPS based on either the tanks or the map. Your supports are picked based on DPS and tanks you have. So if you have slow moving tanks like Reinhardt and Zarya, you may want to run an Anna and a Lucio, as Anna can provide healing from a safe location, but if she does need help from the Lucio, he has enough mobility and speed to peel and support her. Lucio can also amp speed your tanks to either engage or disengage in a fight. Whereas dive tanks, you may want to run supports that don't have a problem healing from afar or keeping up with the high speed of the tanks. Certain supports will synergize really well with certain DPS heroes and are almost a must pick in certain situations. For example, Pharah works really well with Mercy, and Mercy is an almost must pick if you have a Pharah, unless the Pharah is really good at staying out of sight lines and using the map geometry to her advantage. You also want to play supports that may counter the enemy team. For example, if the enemy team has a Zarya, you might want to play Zen, as Zen's Transcendence can nullify Zarya's Graviton Surge. Supports can generally work on any map, but try to synergize with your tanks and DPS while countering the enemy team ults. So make sure to communicate with your team so you can run the best composition possible. That's all for today's video. If you feel I've left anything out, or if there's anything you disagree with, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace!